TheMuzikAddictz, your #1 source for everything art.
And you are tuned in to Brooklyn, the City on Highly Unique Radio. I do this every Wednesday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please go to your app store and download the app. If you do not have the app, you can go to my Instagram page at Brooklyn's Finest 347. Click on the profile page and download the app. We are the #1 internet radio station in Atlanta, Georgia. We have 1.9 million listeners. Okay. I have my bossy DJ in the building, King D.
What's happening? You already know you can follow me at KINGD85NAWF. That's all social media. Don't forget the motherfucking Cash App.
I don't know why you press me on my show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Please don't forget the Cash App.
I said Cash App on myself.
He so used to be on his show. And then our show on Thursday, where we can curse and be drunk and silly. But on Brooklyn City, we try not to be cursed. We try to be respectful. Even though my mouth is real crazy with the brand. All right, guys. So I told you earlier I had a really, really dope guy in the building. So let me say this. I have been living in Atlanta, Georgia for 25 years. When I moved here, I was 19 years old. And back then, when I was 19, Atlanta was just like, oh, freak neck, you know, a little freaky a little song, you know what I'm saying? And then as the years progressed, you know, strip clubs became the thing, at least for me, because I'm from Brooklyn. We got strip clubs, but not to the extent that Atlanta got strip clubs. Atlanta strip clubs is like a fine dining restaurant with an extra twang to it. You know what I'm saying? You just get your food served by naked ladies. That might brush up against you every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But Atlanta is the #1 state capital in the world for strippers. Everybody in any genre of the world always wants to come where to Atlanta. Why? Because of the strippers. We might as well be the Dominican Republic of strippers.
Yeah.
Next to go to the Dominican Republic, everybody want to come to the A. You know what I'm saying? So this gentleman sitting here with me has a series called Atlanta Girls. And I'm going to let him, you know, talk a little bit about it, but it touches grounds of situations that every woman that lives in Atlanta has done, has been through, or knows somebody that's done it. So this is going to touch homes and hearts of a lot of people, including myself. And I wasn't a stripper, but certain things we had to sacrifice and do to survive. And whether it was something you was ashamed of, or whether it was something that you wasn't ashamed of, you did whatever you had to do to keep pushing through it until that door finally opened and you were able to breathe a little bit. So he made a storyline that kind of makes women understand and don't feel the guilt or the shame of why you did what you had to do. And for society always to judge us and say, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. You know why? Because you're going to be this. It's not like that. Don't let people think that because you've done something to feed your family or to take care of your home, that you are, you know what I'm saying, exiled from the world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to let him come on in. I want to introduce to you guys FILO.
FILO. Last time, thank you, bro. Like, basically all I want to tell y'all is, like, you know, anything with someone dreams, just do it. Don't wait on nobody. Just do it. And I feel like the show is getting a response we're getting right now is because it's real live stories. Because we all know Rose, Azalea, or Ivory. You know, these girls, they predominantly are not from Atlanta, but they live in Atlanta. You know, they're all from different places. And it just shows how certain females get put in promiscuous situations when they looked at as a promiscuous female and they really just want them to survive, or they really just trying to keep their family together. And that's what the basis of the whole show is about. And it also shows things like how disease spread. It also shows things like domestic violence, mental health issues. It's a very intriguing show. When you watch it and sit down and look at it, it may look like it's off the wall because of the foul language, the abuse that you may see in the show. But when you see the fine line and you look deeper into the story, you see what these girls are going through and how their lives intertwine with each other and they help each other lift each other up. then you will understand more of the story. So I just want everybody to check it out on YouTube. This is just a pilot episode. Just know this is the episode that helped us get that's helping us get all the checks to make this a real thing. Look it up on YouTube, Atlanta Girls with a $sign. Episode 1. When you type in episode 001. And you got any questions?
I mean, you didn't even let me ask one question.
Oh.
So, let me ask you this. What put you in the mind frame to write this type of storyline?
Basically, the first thought that ever came from it, I was doing Airbnb out of my apartment. I was living in Norcross, and I had one room. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. One room I was renting out to a colleague of mine. She and her boyfriend, they was renting that room. And then my master bedroom, the bathroom inside of it, I had it for Airbnb clients. So I was sleeping on the couch, and I was using the guest bathroom as my bathroom, sharing with my roommate. So me doing that, I was collecting money from this person and making money from Airbnb, so I didn't have to pay rent. That was my whole goal. All the money I make from my job was going in my pocket. And the Airbnb and me renting out the room was paying for the actual living space in the apartment.
Good hustle.
You know what I'm saying? So appreciate it. So now it was this girl, I don't want to say her name. She basically rented the Airbnb, nice quiet girl. You know what I'm saying? She didn't really say too much. She was there for a week. Her boyfriend started coming over, and they was cool. Everything was cool. Did music, stuff like that. Then I went to work one day, came back. She getting her ass beat, crying. You know what I'm saying? By this dude. So had to break it up. A lot of other things happened after that. I don't want to get too much into that, as you can see it in the show. Even though that's not the complete depiction of what happened in the show, you could get a gist of what I'm talking about in the show. But a gun was pulled out, whole bunch of crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying, happened that day. But I just thank God that nobody really got hurt. Everybody was able to walk away with their freedom and with their lives. So with that being said, that was the first intuition on, damn, let me do the show or whatever. The second intuition was meeting, I was a photographer at the time, meeting all these different models that didn't live here, that wasn't from here, but lived here. And they all had crazy stories. Every model that I came across had a crazy story. One girl, I done stole the car from where you go to rent a car, whatever, Enterprise, and I'm about to sell the car, I made a fake type, all types of crazy stuff.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So,
where's she at? We need her.
So I'm just damn, it should be a show. Then I ended up losing that apartment, and I ended up moving to the east side. I moved to the east side, and I ended up one day driving to work. I used to be a custodian for the Cal County schools. One day I'm driving to work, and you already know how we doing it. When you're young, black, or whatever, in the city, I'm smoking weed before I go to work. I'm just being straight up. So I'm kind of high, I end up crashing my truck. Now, I messed up my upper and lower control arm. So now, every other day, the tire, it kind of basically, it runs down real quick, or whatever. So from there, I met an associate of Mud Films and Weather Films. And I sent them some of my work, photography and videography. So I went from having a messed up truck to not really doing nothing, trying to get a little job, whether doing film or photography, to 2 weeks after that, being in LA, driving a Benz, smoking a blunt, or whatever, working on a movie never heard. So, when all of this is you never know how it's going to happen, but you got to always tell yourself it's going to happen. You don't know how. Every connection is a connection. Every person that you meet is valuable. You know what I'm saying? Everything is about getting up every day and telling yourself something other than what has already happened can happen. And then even in retrospect of something bad happening, it's really a blessing and a lesson. You know what I'm saying? So with this whole journey, it's just been crazy. The type of females I've been meeting, the people I've met, the places I've gone, everybody I've worked with. and all the things that's happening now. Even when it slows down, there's always something that still heightens up the speed of it, or heightens up the awareness or something like that. And I just want to tell people like, yo, like if you really want to do something, you just gotta get up and do it. Don't wait on nobody. Don't let nobody tell you no. Don't settle for nothing less than what you want to achieve. I slept in my car for 6 months to pay for this, for that pilot that whoever looks at it on YouTube can see. And I'm confident to say that pilot, me 6 months of being uncomfortable, will have me solidified and basically have financial freedom for the rest of my life. And that's a big thing. And when Tyler Perry did that speech on BET, it just meant so much because I went through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be able to jump off the porch, and you don't know if you're gonna sink or swim, but you gotta at least try. That's the only way you're gonna find out. And the whole time we living in my truck, that was the most blissful experience I ever had in my life. There was a point in my life where I actually felt free. I just felt free from bills. I felt free from distractions. I was getting up every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I made sure I did something towards getting that pilot done. For 6 months, 6 o'clock every morning, getting up, going to Planet Fitness to take a shower. I had a food stamp card. I wasn't paying for food neither. Only thing I had to pay for was gas and car insurance and my phone bill. And y'all see I'm still with the Metro PCS. $60, can't beat it. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the hustle and how bad do you really want it. And I wanted it bad. You feel me? Like my mom's going through a lot of stuff financially. My father, he died when I was 2 years old. So I felt like I had no other option but to do it this way because I had no other help. And there's people, as a lot of you out there that have the right type of help to make you make a move. Stop being scared. Get up and go do it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to force you to make you $1 million. Nobody's going to force you to do that. But we all can do it, especially as black people. Not to discriminate against white people or any other race, but as black people, we already behind. So we gotta start speeding up and waking up earlier, getting shit done. Getting stuff done earlier to make these things happen. Because you only have, it's a short time that you have on this earth. You gotta keep on making this happen because the way they're setting it up, the government is not made for us. So it's going to be to the point either you got money or you don't. You don't want to be the person that don't got no money. You could go on Gresham Road, you could go on Best Stop Brooklyn, you could go on Nostrand, you could go on the West Side, you could go on the Bluff. They want us to be those places. And then when they get tired of us being there, they want to knock everything down and we got to go somewhere else. And we've seen it before. So everybody just get your thing, get whatever you got to get together, get your game plan on, talk to your shorty, smoke a blunt, and make your plan on what you want to do. Because it's not meant for us, so we got to really make a way.
Yeah. And Tyler Perry said it best. Work like you broke every day. Even if you know you got it, work every day like you broke. Because that's the only thing that's going to make you hungry. That's the only thing that's going to keep pushing you so you can't get pushed no more. You know what I'm saying? Because life is very, very, very short. If you don't step out on faith and trust the Most High, whoever it is that you believe in or pray to, you are going to be stuck where you are for the rest of your life. So you have to take a step back, and I commend you for living in your car for 6 months because the Steve Harveys and Tyler Perry's all have stories. How it took them to get there. And Tyler Perry's drive is inspiring every day because he works every day like he broke. He owns his whole, not this building, but he owns his whole studio. He ain't got to get up and go to work. He could be traveling all over the world, enjoying life, but he's there every day. And he's the boss, but he's very humble, and he's a friend. And I know this because I know people that work in the studio. And they say that he is just very humble, and he believes in taking care of his staff. He gives them, bonuses, trips, luncheons all the time because he knows how hard they work to provide for their families. Because he walked that walk. You don't ever want nobody to feel like they gotta walk that walk. So all his stories, all his movies and shows is an image picture of his life. Yeah. He said every movie he has ever made was something about his life. watching somebody go through a struggle, or being that person that was going through a struggle, or listening to his mother and the aunts and them talk about something. That's when he made Medea. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what, to me, a filmmaker is. You're taking bits and pieces of your life and creating a platform, whether it's about your life or other people's lives. You're taking bits and pieces of situations and you're putting them all together to make them either make a message or make sense. Not for you, but for somebody else that might need to hear it and understand it. And that's, to me, a good definition of a good writer or a film director, because you can make any movie out here. Look, I can go make a movie. King B, you want to go make a movie when we done? It's that easy. All you need is a cameraman. Shouts out to the cameraman in the building. And all you need is a mic. You know what I'm saying? Somebody to engineer the whole thing, and then somebody to act. Boom, there you go. Put it together. It might be a little rough draft, but put it together, make a little promo commercial, and shoot it off to a bunch of different companies till somebody say yes.
That's a fact. And it's, when you don't, I got two stories to tell you about. When you don't have a lot, you gotta be very strategic with what you do have. And you may just have your hands and your feet. You gotta know how to use them. You know what I'm saying? No homework, nothing like that. But let me tell you this. I knew I couldn't pay actors. So I signed up to be an extra in different films and TV shows. And I knew anybody I came to saying, do you want to have a leading role in the show? As me talking to another extra, they gonna want to do it because mentally they're tired of being in the back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was the most strategic thing I did, and it worked. You know what I'm saying? And then another story is, I got a chance to meet 50 Cent. I met Randy Huggins. I also, shout out to Jamel, shout out to Twin, all these people that run with 50 or whatever. Like, I actually, like, this is the height of the whole BMF thing. I went out there early in the morning, Twin telling me like, yo, now you're not gonna meet 50. You gotta come here on a helicopter with a bag of money for him to talk.
No, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just like, nah, like, I'm talking to 50. You feel me? I told him, I said, I believe anything is possible. And even though it was only for 2 seconds, I was able to hand him my script. It was really like some old school, trying to hand somebody your demo type of feeling. I ended up meeting Hazel, that I met on the set of Tales. Me and her was extras, and she also was in the show. She ended up coming to the BMF casting. I got with her, she linked up with some BMF people. They went upstairs, she said, come on. I got upstairs. I got a chance to see 50 or whatever. I hollered at them, but I don't think I approached them in the right way, so the security kind of got in front of me. But in hindsight, me and Jamel, super cool. Me and Twin, super cool. Randy Huggins, we talk, we converse. He reads the scripts. I write. He tells me what he thinks, and this is one of the writers for power. You know what I'm saying? If you shoot for the stars, you're gonna land on the moon. And that's how you gotta look at it. I was aiming to meet 50 and have a relationship with 50 about TV stuff and writing scripts, but I ended up getting cool with his whole staff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's all on how you look at things. Everything is not a failure. It may be a blessing and you don't even know it.
Amen. Preach. Everything is, you know what I'm saying, a blessing in disguise. So you just getting the opportunity to be in that circle was just destined.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just didn't go the way you planned. But you still got a great outcome out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you hustle and you grind to create this web series, and right now it's on YouTube, and they can go to Atlanta Girls with a money sign as an S.
Yeah, episode
001?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many episodes is it going to be total?
This is going to be a total of 10 episodes, including the pilot, so 11.
Okay. And you're going to start shooting
sometime between August and late September.
of this year?
Of this year.
Okay. And when does it, when do you plan to possibly start airing?
I think that goes into a lot of like stuff with whichever network or platform that we put it on. I know we're going to have to do a lot of stuff as far as marketing and knowing the right time to put it out in the right season. Because I look at this as an artist that's doing music. You want to put it out in the right time when you feel like you can maximize on whatever is going on at that time, if it's going to fit that right time.
Right.
So I don't want to give out an exact date as of yet.
So is it going to be on YouTube in the meantime until? Okay.
Yeah, just this episode is going to be on YouTube.
Oh, just this one episode, that's it.
This is like, basically what happened is like, all right, you meet artists all the time, correct?
Right.
So just how many artists came up here and just said, yo, one day I just woke up and decided to rap and they got a hit record. That's what happened with this. I just woke up and said I want to do a show and it's a hit.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that makes sense to me. I mean, we definitely look forward to it. If you have not seen the trailer, you can go to YouTube and type in Atlanta Girls. The S is going to be $, and it will be episode 001. Or you can see a peek of the trailer. I have 2 parts on my Instagram page at Brooklyn's Finest 347. It's the second to third, the first to the second. You'll see it. It's out of the last 3 videos, okay? But it's really good. FILO reached out to me and sent it to me, and I watched it. And I was very impressed, especially for a young man to not be a woman, but to be able to, you know, put this storyline together, knowing that we've seen so many different women go through the same storyline. And just the last thing to touch on, explain to them what the moral of these stories are about women.
The moral is basically how females it's really, females go through so much, and I want to give a shout out to my mother, Althea Teresa Edwards. Females go through so much, and I really wanted to showcase the true mental capacity that it takes to keep this, how a female can keep herself together when she's at work and when she's out and about, but when she goes home, it's 100 degrees and she lives in hell. That's what I wanted to show, how strong a female can be. And that's what you're going to see in all 3 women. That these are strong females. When they go home, it's hell. You know, I can't put it no other way. Like the type of things they have to go through and the way they have to not sacrifice, but the way they have to put their lives on the line just for their families or just to survive the body next meal. It's hell. And I really wanted to show that. And I seen my mom go through so much different types of hell growing up. You know what I'm saying? And I was the oldest child, so I went through it with her. So it's just, it's a little piece of me in the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't want to give y'all too much. I need to go and watch it. Go and watch it on YouTube right now.
Well, definitely go on to the YouTube channel because we need those numbers to go up, 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 up. So again, you can go to Atlanta Girls. The S is $, episode 001. Like, share, comment.
Yeah.
So we can know exactly how you guys feel about it, because there's more episodes to come, but right now this is just a trailer. Just so, you know what I'm saying, everybody can kind of get a peek of what's going to happen.
And if Atlanta Girls don't pop up, type in ATL Girls. Yo, shout outs to Mac and Macadocious Films. That was the film crew I paid to shoot it, and they showed nothing but love. I appreciate y'all, appreciate Mike, and appreciate my boy Big Cotton, man, for real. And my boy J Lone, my bad.
No. I want you to get it all out, honey. Go ahead and get it all out. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media platforms.
My personal social media is just call me FILO. JUSTCALLMEFILO. FILO stands for first in and last out. Big facts. And on No More Error Films is at No More Error Films. Just like how it's said, it's just like how it's spelled.
And you have an email address for anybody that might be interested in acting or have any questions about, you know, what they heard today?
Definitely. My email is enemyfilmsllc@gmail.com. If you can't hear how I'm saying it, just hit me up on Instagram and my DM. I answer all my DMs. If you write on my story, I write back all that. And my number, my contact information is on there. And if anybody wants to do business, you can also reach me, or you can reach my attorney, Miss Bernice Watkins.
All right. Well, shouts out to FILO for bringing his story to Highly Unique Radio. We always try to break the most pleasant and the most hopping news that we can in the land of Georgia. And to see this.
My bad.
Go ahead.
Yo, look up Sino Rude Boy on SoundCloud. Majority of the music on the show was done by Sino Rude Boy. The introduction song, Sino Rude Boy. Look him up. Dope music. Check it out. My bad.
No problem. So we always want to break on in the new artists, new artistries, even if you're not new. But to bring this story to the front line is very important. I think a lot of people are going to, especially women in Atlanta, Georgia that live here, are going to be able to relate to the storyline. And they're going to be able to, you know, if they can't relate to it, know someone that can relate to it. Because we all have that one friend, you be like, girl, is you ever going to get a job? But like you said, a lot of women have to put on the front. They get up every morning and they have to go to work. And they come home to hell. Come home to what? No power, no food, crying kids, no hot water, it's cold.
Or a broke ass baby daddy.
Or getting their behind beat down every day. And still got to get up, get the kids ready, take them to school, feed them what you can feed them, drop them off, and go to work and hide your black eye that you had that you just got the night before. So shouts out to all my women that work hard. Shouts out to all my women in the strip clubs, all my girls on the trap streets, all my girls that's walking the strip, all the girls that's working a 9 to 5. Everybody that's fronting to survive, to stay alive. Shouts out to y'all.